Oh look, Eric finally uploads on his extras channel again. That boy is up to something. Seriously though, it's also been a while since I uploaded there, and I want to take this time to read the Lorax by Dr. Seuss, and I've seen the movie, and it was alright for what it was. It was staying true to the books, but I honestly just didn't like it. There was something about it just didn't like it. Either it was made by Illumination or something, I don't know. So today we're gonna be reading The Lorax by Dr. Seuss. Letting you know I am a terrible reader. I stutter too much when I read. So this is gonna be more awkward for me than you. Alright, so The Lorax by Dr. Seuss. Oh. At the far end of town, where the wriggle grass grows, and the wind smells slow and sour when it blows, and no birds ever sing excepting old crows, is the streets of the lifted Lorax. And deep in the wriggle grass, some people say, if you look deep enough, you could still see today where the Lorax once stood, as long as it could, before somebody lifted the Lorax away. What was the Lorax? And why was it there? And why was it lifted and taken somewhere? And far end of town where the grass grows? And Owen the oncelet still lives here. Ask him. He knows. You won't see the onceler. Don't knock at his door. He stays and is lurking, cold under the roof, where he makes his own clothes out of milk-muttered moof. And on the special dark midnights in August, he peeks out of the stutters, and someone he speaks, and tell how the Lorax was lifted away. He'll tell you, perhaps, if you're willing to pay. Okay, I guess this is the Monster's house. Stalker. On the end of the rope, he lets down a pin nail, and you have to toss in 15 cents, a nail, and the shell of a great-great-great-grandfather's snail. Also, Stalker. Then he pulls up the pails, makes the most careful count, to see if you paid him the proper amount. Then he hides where you pay them, away in his nerve, his secret strange hole, and its groovyless grove. Dr. Seuss really got some words up here. Then he grunts, I will call you by whisper my phone, for the secrets I tell you for your ears alone. Slup, down slups, the whisper my phone to your ear, and the only one slow whispers are you're not very clear, since they have to come down through a snaggly hose, and he sounds as if he had smallest bees up his nose. Now I tell you, he says, with his teeth sounding gray, how the Lorax got lifted and taken away. It all started way back, such a long, long time back. I don't know if that's just me, but that looks like a good meme, I gotta be honest. You know me, I'm always trying to find good memes. Alright. Way back in the days when the grass was still green, and the pond was still wet, and the clouds were still clean, and the song of the surmy swans rang out in space, one morning I came to this glorious place. And I first saw the trees, the truffula trees, the bright-colored tufts of truffula trees, mile after mile in the fresh morning breeze. Okay. And under the trees I saw brown barlots frisking about in their barbalot suits as they play in the shade and ape trubula fruits. From the ripulous pond came the uncomfortable sound of the hummingfish humming while splashing around. I sound like I'm telling a scary story or something like that. Okay. But those trees, Those trees, those turbulent trees. All my life I've been searching for trees such as those. The touch of their stuff is softer than silk, and they have the sweet smell of fresh butterfly milk. I felt a great leaping of joy in my heart. I knew just what I'd do. I unloaded my cart. In no time at all, I had building a small shop. When I chopped down a truffle tree with one chop, and with great skillful skill, with great speed, and took the soft tusk, and I kneaded at the knee. The instant I finished, I heard a gazump. I looked. I saw something pop up of a stump of the tree I chopped down. It was some sort of man. Describe him that hard? I don't know if I can. And as you could see, it's Danny DeVito. He was shortest and oldest and brownest and mossy, and he spoke with a voice that was sharpest and bossy. "Mister," he said with a soul-dousing sneeze, "I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees. I speak for the trees have no tongues. And I'm asking you, sir, at the top of my lungs." He was very upset as he sounded the puff. "What's that thing you made out of my tuffula tufts?" "Look, Lorax," I said, "there's no cause for alarm. I just chopped it one tree. I am doing no harm. I'm being quite useful. This thing is a thneed. A thneed's a fine something that all people need. It's a shirt, a sock, a glove, a hat. But it has other uses. Yes, far beyond that. It could use it for carpets, for pillows, for sheets, or curtains, or covers for bicycle seats." The Lorax said, "Sir, you are crazy with greed, and there was no one on earth who would buy that full of need." But the very next minute, he proved he was wrong. Just for at that minute, a chap came along, and he thought that the need I needed was great. He happily bought it for $93.98. I laughed at the Lorax. You poor stupid guy. I can never tell what some people will buy." As you can tell, I stutter a lot. That's how you know I stutter a lot. "I repeat," cried the Lorax, "I speak for the trees." "I'm busy," I told him. "Shut up, if you please." I pushed across the room and in no time at all built a radiophone. I put in a quick call, and I called all the brothers and uncles and aunts. I said, "Listen here. Here's a wonderful chance for the Onceler family to get mighty rich. Get over it fast. Take the road to Northitch. Turn left at Wickingham, sharp right at South Snitch." And in no time at all, and the factory I built, the whole Onceler family was working full tilt. We were all knitting the knees, just as by as bees, to the sound of chopping the truffula trees. Then, oh baby oh, how my business did grow. Now, chopping one tree at a time was too slow. So I quickly invented my super axe hacker. Super axe hacker, which whacked it off 4 truffula trees at one smacker. Well, it looks like 3 to me. We were making sneeze 4 times as fast as before. And that Lorax, he didn't show up anymore. By the next week, he knocked in at my new office door. He snapped, "I am the Lorax, who speaks for the trees, which you seem to be chopping as fast as many as you please. But I'm also in charge of the brown barbelots who play in the shades in their barbelot shoots, who happily lived eating truffula fruits. Now, thanks to your hacking my trees to the ground, that's not enough truffula fruit to go around. And my poor buffalots are getting all the crummies as they have gas and no food in their tummies. They love living here, but I can't let them stay. And they have to find food, and I hope that they may. Good luck, boys," he cried, and sent them that away. "I," the Onceler felt said, but I watched them all go. But business is business, and business must grow. Regardless of tummies and tummies, you know. So, you could tell that this is not, like, based on the... You could tell, like, the movie's way different. And that's what I don't like about it, it's because it doesn't really stay true to it, but it's a thing, so whatever. I meant no harm. I most truly did not. When I had to grow bigger, so bigger I got. I biggered my factory, I biggered my roads, I biggered my buckets, I biggered the loads, I biggered the other things I shipped out. I was shipping them forth to the south, to the east, to the west, to the north. I went right on the biggering, sell more needs, and I biggered my money, which everyone needs. Then again, he came back. I was fixing some pipes when an old nuisance Lorax came back with more gipes. I am the Lorax. He coughed, and he whiffed. He sneezed and he snuffled. He snarkled, he sniffed. The onceler, he cried for the quaffless croak. Onceler, you're making such smogless smoke. My poor snubbiest swans. Why, they can't sing notes. No one can see who has a spot in his throat. And so, said the Lorax, please pardon my cough. They cannot live here, so I'm sending them off. And then they're all flying off. Now, where will they go? I don't hopefully know. They might have to fly for a month or a year to escape from the smog you smocked up around here. Well, this is 72 pages. I didn't expect to read this much. What's more, snapped the Lorax, his dander was up. Let me say a few words about the gobbling glub. Your machinery clogs on, day and night, without stop, making glubbity glop, such sloppily slop. I hope I said that right. And what do you do with this leftover goo? I'll show you, you dirty or onceling man. You. They grumbled upon wherein the hummy fists hum. No more can they hum, and the gears were all gumbled. So I'm sending them off. Oh, their future was dairy. They walked on their fins, and hopefully wary, in search in some water that isn't so smeary. Then I got mad. I got terribly mad. I yelled at Lorax. Now listen here, Dad. All you do is yap yap and saying bad, 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 bad. Well, I have my rights, sir, and I'm telling you, I need to go on doing just what I do. Okay, that was a lot of reading. And for your information, you Lorax, I am figuring on biggering and biggering and biggering and biggering, putting on more tougher trees and things, which everyone needs. And that very moment, I heard a loud whack. From outside in the fields came a snaky smack on an axe on a tree. Then we heard the tree fall. The very last truffle tree of them all. That machine looks like a frog. No more trees, no more sneeze, no more work to be done. Saying no time, my uncles and aunts. Everyone, all the way to me goodbye. They jumped into my cars and drove away under the smoke-smothered stars. For all that was left beneath this bad-smelling sky were my big empty factory and Lorax and I. The Lorax said nothing and gave me a glance, and just gave me a very sad backward glance as he lengthened himself by the seat of his pants, and I will never forget the grim look on his face while he hissed at himself and took leave of his place through a hole of a smog without leaving a trace. And all on the Lorax left there was a small pile of rocks with one word, unless. Whatever that meant, well, I just couldn't guess. That was long, long ago. But each day since the day, I sat here and worried away. Through the years, while my buildings haven't fallen apart, I worried about with all my heart. But now, says the oncelet, now that you're here, the word of the Lorax seems perfectly clear. Unless someone cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. So, catch, calls the onceler. He lets something fall. It's a truffula tree. It's the last one of all. You're in charge of the last truffula seeds and truffula trees, so what everyone needs. Plant the new truffula, treat it with care, give it clean water, and feed it fresh air. Grow a forest, protect it from the axes that attack. Then the Lorax and all of its fans may come back. So, and then the rest are just blank pages, I think. Yeah. Okay, this is it. Join the campaign to help save the real life Lorax forest. Well, we have the Mr. Beast thing, so I guess we're happening now. Anyways, this was the Lorax in one sitting. I just want to do something different. Raccoon eggs did this sitting on green eggs and ham. I wanted to do on the Lorax, and I didn't think it was gonna be that long, but here we are. So, anyways, this is gonna be just like, it's just a little video I wanted to make. There is gonna be a brand new skit video. Should be coming like on the like whenever I have the time. At least I want to get it like done on November 5th. I don't know. It's the first a second actually of November. So, anyways, guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys all later. See ya.